already have a downline? Can I see more people? No.
I just have one.
Wait, who's talking?
Jillian.
Oh, Jillian. Oh, yeah. You have Leanne. Okay. All right, cool. So what I was thinking is when you go from being an elite hacker to that top hacker, you're taking the jump into the leadership role in MaskCara. And so it's kind of a big deal because no longer are you just worried about you and your own goals for the month, but you are responsible for inspiring or coaching or just being a venting ear for somebody else in the business. And it's a big deal. It's a very satisfying responsibility. And it's something that I didn't ever think that I would like, but I actually really, really enjoy it. And so I was thinking, okay, well, if we're stepping into that leadership role, I know many of you already are leaders in other fields, but you've probably never been specifically a leader within MaskCara and what it entails. And I also think that sometimes when you haven't been a leader in a specific role, you can kind of be intimidated and think, well, I've never mentored another girl getting to elite. What if I don't know what I'm doing? And I honestly think that deep down that fear can be within us and it can hold you back from actually really getting there. So I kind of wanted to spend a few minutes on, thank you. My husband's so sweet. I'm hiding in the closet and it's hot in here and he just brought me a fan. Thank you. So I thought that I would talk for just a second on what it was like, what it takes to be a good leader, because that's all Top HAC-er is about, is stepping into that leadership role. So the number one thing that you can do to be a good leader, especially in this business, is to just show up. Showing up is, I would say, 95% of the battle. There are so many times when I have no idea what the answer is when my team comes to me, but the fact that they know that they can come talk to me, it means that we can figure it out together. And so showing up is the biggest hurdle. And while you're trying to build your team and to become a top hacker and in that leadership position, showing up is what is going to build you your team. So when your mouth is closed, you're closed for business. And when you're not messaging people, you're closed for business. You cannot build your team when you're not talking to people. Our business is all about talking to people. So I was thinking, part of showing up that I did when I first got started is I had lots of online classes. I've been really preaching the online classes lately, I feel like. And while I was doing that, I had quite a few recruits, and I never sent them a message that said, my name is Jessica Perez. I am an artist for MaskCara Beauty. Would you like to look at more information? That's not how I recruited a lot of the ladies that I first did. A lot of it came from online classes where people were interested in the makeup, and I would send them a message more along the lines of, yeah, can you believe this stuff? Like, I didn't even know what I was doing before, and now it's a business. It's crazy. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I would say stuff like that. Or, yeah, I loved it so much I had to just tell everybody about it. Stuff like little things like that where I just opened up the door just a little bit. And then we just kind of had a conversation, a real easy conversation. So it doesn't have to be cut and dry. I'm officially switching over to recruiting mode. It can really just be, I'm a human being. She's a human being, and we can just have a conversation like human beings. Okay. The number 2 thing about leaderships, they say, is to be brave. So there are times when you'll be asked to do something. Maybe an online class scares you to death. Maybe an in-person class scares you to death. Maybe somebody's sending you a message that says, yes, I'm interested in more information. Maybe that scares you to death. You have to do the brave thing and just show up and do your best. And you'd be surprised at how well you can do. You just have to kind of believe in yourself and do the brave thing. Number 3 is honesty and transparency. So lots of times, especially in this business, people are sorry, my hair is really wet and it looks like I'm homeless right now. It's bothering me. Okay. When you're honest and transparent with people, they appreciate it. So, there were times when I was talking to people about the business and I would say, yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a lot of success, but I worked my butt off. This is not an easy thing to do. This is not a get rich quick scheme. I wish it was, but it's not. I really did have to work. Or when I'm talking to my team and they want to know, how much money I'm making, or whatever, honesty and transparency on what it takes, it builds trust with you, and people really appreciate that. Okay, here's the big one. This next one I think is the big one, because this business is tough. There's no way around that. But to have the big vision, and I know that this is one of the reasons that Kirsty and Krista have been so successful, is because they never lose sight of the big vision. They know that they're in here for the long haul, because the long haul means a lot of success. Even if they were to just plug along at a very slow rate, 5 years or 2 years or 6 months or 1 month, it's going to pass whether you do anything or not. So you might as well just do the little things every day, and come 5 years down the road, we're all going to be making gangster money, right? You just got to keep with it and keep the big vision. And if anybody wants to talk about, like, well, what are you talking about? What is the big vision? Just let me know. But if you've already had my Braveheart big vision speech, then I can move on. Okay. The other thing is to help others. Obviously, when you step into a leadership role, you are expected to help your team. You're not expected to know all the answers. In fact, I tell most of my frontline girls that once they get started, to go ahead and bring a friend, because if I'm talking to them and training them on getting them started, we might as well bring someone else in the group conversation too, and you both can be building your business. So you don't have to know all the answers. But you obviously do want to have that innate desire to help people. Okay, number 6. Can you believe that number 6 is work hard? It's all the way down to number 6. So you have to obviously work hard before and after you build your team. You have to work hard to build your team. You have to work hard after you build your team. And the number one thing that you got to do is open your mouth. So you've got to talk to new people. You've got to talk to people to get your classes booked. You've got to talk to people and go to vendor events. You've got to open your mouth about how the artist opportunity has blessed you, or what you love about it, or what's exciting about it. And the fact that you're just willing to talk about it, it's a part of your life. And this kind of hit me when I was sending out messages. They were supposed to be like your warm market message, but I was really scared to message someone and say, "Hey, Sally, how you doing? Do you want to get color matched?" I was so scared to say that. So I thought I was taking the chicken way out by just saying, "Hey, Sally, I saw that your kid went to kindergarten. He's so cute." And then I'm like, okay, I started a message with them. That counts, right? Like, that counts. And so then she would message me back and she would say, "Yeah, he did. How are you guys doing?" And I would say, "Oh, well, we actually live in Alabama now." And they'd be like, "No way. When did you move to Alabama?" I'm like, "Well, my husband's going to law school and now I get to work from home with my kids." And then I realized, wait a second, this is like something that I'm doing that means a lot to me and my family. And in a normal conversation, that just comes up, and it's okay for me to mention what I'm doing. So it's okay for you to open your mouth and say, "This is something that I'm doing and I really enjoy it." Okay, so that one is really, really important. If you need help on what to say to people, I can guarantee you right now, because I've trained them this way, that your uplines are more than happy to see screenshots of your conversations with people. And if they get stuck, they'll send them on up. But really, I can tell you, when you're talking to somebody and you're emotionally invested in the conversation, because say you want them to get color matched or you want them to host a party and you're about to send them a message, you get scared. I get scared still. Like, I'll be in a conversation, I'm like, I'm stuck. I have no idea what to say. So I take a screenshot and I send it to my friends and I say, "What do I say?" And they're not emotionally attached to the outcome. They don't care, but they've seen a similar thing and they're like, "Jessica, that's easy. Say this." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, duh, I knew that." But because you're emotionally invested, it makes it so much harder to know what to say. So blast your uplines with screenshots of conversations that you're stuck in, and they'll walk you through exactly what they would say. Okay, this next one is drive, and it's a big soapbox of mine. Like, it might be my biggest soapbox, I would say lately. Yeah, I would say it's my biggest soapbox. So a lot of people think that when you are going to be successful in life or in this business or with anything, you have to be really super motivated, because motivated people get stuff done, right? Wrong! Motivated people don't get stuff done. People don't take action from motivation. They just don't. They just don't. I can tell you I'm a way more motivated person when I go to bed at night than when my alarm clock goes off and it's actually time to put my words in action. That's the time where I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel good. I don't want to do this, because it doesn't. It sucks. And so there are times when you're super motivated to build your business and you're like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to go message 5,000 people. And then you go to sit down and message those 5,000 people and you're like, wait a minute, I don't want to do this. This is so not fun. I'll do it later when I'm motivated again. I just lost my motivation. No, people who are successful and get things done have the drive to do things even when they don't feel motivated. Even when they're super not excited to do it, but they do it anyway and they show up every day. And that is what is going to build you a team. When your drive to be successful is more important than your comfort level and being motivated to do it. So no more motivation pep talks. We're just going to do action, action, action. Okay. So also being a team leader, the nice thing is that you care about the people that you bring on. And so when they rise, you rise. And MaskCara's compensation plan is very conducive to that. Number 9 is to take action. And I think that goes right in with the drive. And then to seek growth. I can tell you right now that there are so many times where I have completely stalled out in my business and not gone anywhere for a long time. And then I'm frustrated and I'm grouchy and all that. And then I realize, wait, I haven't listened to any self-development in way, way, way too long. And that's mostly what it comes down to. When you develop yourself, you have more to share and more to give and more to be a good leader. So you really don't want to skip self-development. And I have lots of recommendations that are my favorite. Get Over Your Damn Self is a really, really good book. And if you can't get through that book, you're probably in the wrong business. And the 5-second rule is really, really good, because she's the one that talks about that you don't need to be motivated. You just need to get crap done. Like, just get it done. Okay. Those are my 10 things. The biggest things I think you can do is, I know that you guys wrote out your goals to get here. That's the number one thing. The next thing is to don't let those goals slip away. Like, don't sell yourself short. You deserve what your goals are, and you can do what those goals are. I didn't see anybody write down that they were going to sell $5 million in sales, because I'd probably be like, well, sweetheart, okay. So everybody, I feel like, had really good, solid, realistic goals. And you've probably written down goals in the past. So what I want you guys to do right now is just take a minute, and I want you to really think about and write down underneath your goals what you think kept you from not hitting those goals the previous month. What do you think it was that kept you from not hitting those goals last month? Okay. I know that me personally, in my goals, when haven't been able to hit goals on a certain month, lots of times I can pinpoint exactly what had happened. So I want to open it up to you guys. Do you have questions about what you just wrote down? Like, do you feel like it's something that you need help with this month that we can talk about here? Because I can guarantee you won't be the only one with that problem. Does anybody want to talk about it?
I think for me, was mostly between two things: just a lack of consistency and letting life get in the way. Obviously, I had to go on this last month, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to balance this and my full-time job and everything else I have going on just in the next couple of months because I'm opening a new store. So
Right.
it's going to be a lot of overtime and things like that too. So like I'm always posting and stuff on my breaks, but I wasn't so much this last month.
Right. Okay. Well, in your scenario, when you are going to be, I mean, that's just a full month, you know, and I understand when you're a working mom, like it's crazy. I've been there and it's insane. Like you don't even feel like you have time to breathe. Well, the first thing is I want you to be more successful in this so that you can have more free time, because I know having that flip-flop for me has been a game changer. But you also can look at consistency from a way of from a different viewpoint of like, say in this next month, you really only have time in your day to do things every other day. And I think that if you give yourself that grace of saying, no, like this is my off day because I'm going to do it. Yeah, I did it yesterday and I'm going to do it tomorrow. That's still consistency, but it works with your life. So it doesn't have to be an hour every day of doing MaskCara stuff. You know, you can allocate that to every other day, but still you're not letting like the guilt sink in of, oh, I missed that day, so what's the point? You know, you're like, oh, I'm still on track. I'm still doing good. And I think having that positivity will carry you a lot farther because you're going to want to keep going because you can feel like you can be successful in that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I know the answer, but I'll give a scenario because it's things I've struggled with before, so I assume everyone else does too. Meeting new people, like right now on my current team, people that I knew before MaskCara, like 2.
Uh-huh.
Out of 57 people. So so I guess, how do you reach out to people? Because I mean, you can't just keep using your friends and family. They're not going to do it. Right.
You're always widening that network. I told you I've been really preaching the online classes, and I know that you had really good experience with your online classes this past month. Kirsty's like locked it down on how to throw a good Facebook party. But that really is the answer because I mean, I look through my customer list now and I'm like, I had no idea who half these people were or more before I started MaskCara. So, and those all came from online classes. So there really is something beautiful about the networking that occurs in those classes. And that really is a cheap, non-time consuming way to widen your network because you don't have to leave home. You can do it from your phone anywhere. Another way when I first got started to get out into my local area was vendor events. Just the cheap ones. You don't have to do expensive ones, but just the cheap vendor events. But that can really help you meet people. Or, I mean, Jillian's opening up a new store. Like that's going to be new employees and people that she's going to be talking to. And that widens your network too of people that you know.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I know you already know.
Don't be scared, guys.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, like I said, it's really, really simple. This business is not complicated. It's very simple, but it isn't easy. And so the biggest thing you have to do is to show up and be brave and work hard. And that's really all it takes. So I'm going to challenge you guys to send your uplines at least 2 screenshots this week of conversations that you're having that you want to be coached on. And just try to do that at least twice every week. Send 2 screenshots to your uplines each week this month. And that will just mean that you are talking to people and that you're getting into situations where you're not 100% sure what to say. And that's one-on-one personal coaching from top leadership in MaskCara. Like you guys really are lucky to have 2 elite ambassadors running your team. There's only, gosh, how many? There maybe is like 25 elite ambassadors in all of MaskCara. Out of 10,000 girls, there's only 25 elite ambassadors and you guys have 2 at the helm. Like, that's pretty freaking awesome. So they know what they're doing. Bombard them with screenshots. I want to get complaints from them that they have too many screenshots. But other than that, I think you guys have got it. Do you guys have anything else that you have questions about or that you just got to get off your chest? No? All right.
Wait, I do.
Oh, okay.
Is there any word on Canada yet?
Oh, they said maybe by the end of the summer, huh? I haven't heard anything else.
That want to sign up from Canada.
Ooh, I don't know, but they said they had a huge announcement tomorrow night on the webinar.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Like with people I've been reaching out to through Instagram.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can't tell where they're from, and if I do see like different flags and stuff, then I probably won't reach out to them. But a couple I didn't, and I found out like they need to sign up, and then I was like, oh.
Wow, that's awesome because you're gonna, as soon as it does open up, your team's gonna explode.
Yeah,
I think it's a really smart idea to get a Canadian waiting list. I need to start doing that.
You think they're going to release it to Canada tomorrow?
No, probably not. It's probably something related to Dream, but
I thought I heard Kat say something about how talking